Hello, dear friends. What a blessing to be with you today. Here we are with another program at Kardec Radio. Here I am at the Spirit Society of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia. Welcome. Is always a blessing to be with you. And today we will be discussing an article written by the medium Divaldo Franco, published in July 23rd, 2020, in a newspaper called A Tarde, which would be the afternoon. So it's an article by Divaldo Franco, not by a spirit necessarily. I'm sure he was inspired. But it comes to us in a time on the earth where we need a lot of perseverance, especially for those who are committed in doing the works of the good. We need to persevere so that we can continue to spread the good news of the Christ with so many distractions, so many different tragedies and difficulties all over the world. Sometimes it becomes difficult. So today is all about perseverance. And remember, friends, I'm going to invite you to visit the website of the Spiritist magazine, spiritistmagazine.org. Excuse me. Where you can find all of the issues of the magazine free of charge, a link to the app for your tablets and cell phones, and also a way to order the physical copy of the magazine if that's what you would like to do, to have a copy of the magazine for you. Thank you for joining me, and I will share with you my PDF version. So if you were to download the magazine to your computer, that's what it might look like. We have this beautiful cover highlighting the presence of the encounter between Paul and Senator Lentulus, Publius Lentulus. It's a beautiful article narrating. Emmanuel narrates when he was the first time he saw Paul and how touching that was for him, and how touching it is for us to know of Paul of Tarsus, who, as the apostle of the Gentiles, is pretty much responsible for us being Christians, right? He went out and spread the good news, but that's a conversation for another day. So I like to show you the magazine as is, so you feel inspired to do the same at your center, at your home, in your own studies. There's always an article from the book Spiritist Conduct. There's a letter from the editor-in-chief. There's a part of Science and Spiritism, talking about physics. And we have a bunch of articles now on family relationships. Who doesn't need to know more about family relationships, right? And if you scroll down to the article of today, it's titled Perseverance. And it was written, as I said, by the medium Divaldo Franco. I make it larger for us so we can continue here. I hope you are doing well wherever you are in the world, live or on demand. It's always a blessing and an honor to be with you. So let's talk about perseverance. Before I do, our gratitude to our dear Divaldo Franco, who, like many others, has dedicated his life, this lifetime, to bring to you and I the teachings that we receive not only today, but through the many, many psychographed books and his charitable works with the mention of the way. May our thoughts be with him and our gratitude as well. He says, perseverance is a virtue that is overlooked. In the realization of any existential objective, it is called to play its role in the face of the inevitable challenges that lie ahead. So nowadays we are, in a sense, a little more concerned about immediate gratification. If things don't go well, we may be quitting too soon. So perseverance, as Evaldo says, is being overlooked. The ability for us to know that to get somewhere, we have to visualize it, we have to write it, we have to envision it, make a plan, have goals, milestones, and if we fail, continue. All of that aligned and supported by prayer and good works, because the prayer allows us to connect with God, and the good works align us with the good spirits that allow the works that we do to go ahead. Because there will be challenges. This is the world we live in. We're not going to be negative about it, but we understand there are challenges. He says all the entrepreneurs of the different achievements had its help of perseverance so they could reach the goal they have set for themselves. The good man and woman invariably support their ideals in this wonderful source of resistance, which allows them to continue the work in the most difficult times, to persist when all factors lead to discouragement and quitting. As students of the gospel, of the works of Kardec and Spiritists, at times we face difficulties. There are things that may lead us to discouragement and quitting, but we need to persevere. This will allow us to continue the works. When we do the works in English specifically, especially, the challenges are many. Because English is a language understood by many people. So it's natural that we find ourselves with resistance. It may be natural to find ourselves with difficulties, and it's only human. We are human. We feel discouraged at times, and we feel like not doing it. But he's saying we need to use the support of perseverance to continue and know that if what I'm doing is good, if what I'm doing helps many others, not just myself and my family, and it helps the community, I need to go on. I can go on. Now, in the next page, he continues. You can see the beautiful image of someone running, right? When you want to run, when you want to have a better lifestyle, have a better diet, nutrition, all takes perseverance to be able to continue. Then he will give us examples. He says, the eminent teacher Pestalozzi in his school in Yverdon, Switzerland, established that the success of education was also the result of three fundamental factors: work, solidarity, and perseverance. Isn't that what we're doing at the Spiritist centers and communities? We are working together. We have solidarity towards one another, and we persevere in the good works. He says, through it, the most serious and challenging achievements require the courage to follow through with enthusiasm so that the victory can be achieved. Tiredness, boredom, as well as other factors that are part of the day-to-day work, are cruel enemies of the ideal of aggrandizement of the human creature, leading to the interruption of the effort and failing in its continuity. Perseverance is the internal force that raises moral value and becomes essential to see the fullness of the objective sought. So it is this ability that comes from within that will raise our ability to see the fullness of our objective of spreading the good news, of learning of Christ's teachings, of feeling the teachings in our hearts, applying the teachings, so on and so forth. Another example of perseverance. It is said that Thomas Edison, says Divaldo Franco, while working on the creation of the electric light bulb, trials, tried 700 times without success. Insisting once more, he heard from his assistants, "Sir, I'm going to give up because we tried countless times without achieving victory. Isn't that us at times?" To which Thomas Edison replied jovially, "Now it's worth going on because we already know 700 ways that it did not work." Sometimes we feel discouraged because we try, nobody shows up. We try, we don't get it. People don't understand. But now we know what not to do. And he went on, managed to light up the world. Imagine if he had given up, it would take some time for someone else to go through and bring the light bulb to us. And look at all the technology we have, right? Took a while for someone to develop the microphone, the camera, and make it so affordable. We could all do it and be here together at Kardec Radio. Another example is that likewise, it's said that Walt Disney, film producer and entrepreneur, when he was in his great accomplishments, had the idea of building an amusement park in the swamps of Orlando, Florida. It was an immense and expensive challenge. For that, he turned to the help of many banks that tried to dissuade him from the venture, which would be crazy, refused to grant him large loans. He did not lose his courage, and with perseverance continued and ended up winning. Today, his numerous parks in the United States and other countries are the most profitable in the world and beautiful for children and adults alike. Three beautiful examples, right? We are all idealists and dreamers, but we need to persevere. We need to leave the old human behind and birth the new us that goes on giving up the pleasures of the earth towards the immortal qualities of the spirit. Instead of spending all our weekends doing things, we volunteer to help others to come to the Spiritist Center, to run a study group, to feed the homeless, whatever activity is. And it's about time that we go from one day I will do things, one day when I get to a certain age, because we only have today. We only have today. None of us is guaranteed old age, and many folks have already passed on. So today we have a choice of making this, creating our ideals and our dreams. But then when we put that into practice, we persevere. Last but not least, he says, faced with today's challenges, viral and moral pandemics, this is what we see, right? Where people are leaving the values of solidarity, of family, of sanctity of life, to just enjoy. Some of us have literally lost our minds with COVID and unable to understand that we are one in the whole of the society, that we all have a role to play in the safety of everyone. And now we are going crazy. We don't want to go back to studying and helping. We just want to enjoy. That's a moral pandemic when we see the erosion of the values that keep the society progressing. Lack of control in social behavior. Then we are unable to control our rages. We yell at people. We're not kind. We're not understanding. We go through the emotional contagion. Science already shows that when someone around you lacks control on their social behavior, is attacking others, is enraged, is angry, is violent, others who are seeing that scene tend to behave the same way. In a few minutes, you're going to feel those feelings as well, the emotional contagion. I'm thinking about the thoughts that people are emanating and attuning with one another. That's why it's important for us to be together, back to the Spiritist centers, working on the works of the good. Faced with all these challenges, the courage of perseverance becomes indispensable to us to maintain ethical feelings of dignity and to fight for the conquest of happiness, which seems utopian to us in the face of the pessimism of the occasion. We are destined to be superior spirits, pure spirits, Christ-like spirits who will be controlling, directing, governing billions of lives and planets, in galaxies, in solar systems, right? As we see the expansion of our knowledge through the Webb's telescope, imagine the abundance of goodness in the universe that only now, with the technology of today, a million miles away from the Earth, we're able to image things that we didn't know were there before. Not even talking about dark matter, just the things we can see. The sliver of the universe that is visible to you and I, because we know there's much more out there. In order to build those communities of peace, to the conquest of happiness, we need to persevere today. If it's difficult, if I'm ill, if I'm having challenges, I still do the work. Because we're not here only to wake up, go to work, come back to watch some TV and sleep and repeat. We're here to serve. We're here to look at the things that are happening around us, the challenges, the viral moral pandemics, the folks who lack control in their social behavior, and have the courage that he says, Divaldo Franco says, it's indispensable for us to maintain our ethics, to align our actions with the actions of the Christ. So we always ask, are the things that I'm doing, thinking and feeling and thinking about, are those things aligned with the laws, the divine laws I see in the Spirit's book? And if not, it's time to rethink the way we are leading our lives. Because it's very easy for us to rationalize, oh, but I need to do this for my family, for my work. When I conquer this, when I do that, when I'm older, when I'm retired, when my kids are in college, that might be too late. We may not be granted that opportunity. So today we persevere. We persevere even when it's difficult. The Spiritist doctrine does not remove, we don't become Spiritists and magically with a wand we remove all of the problems. What happens is you and I understand the mechanisms behind where we are, how we are reaping what we sowed, multiplied by the grace of God, because it's not a one-to-one relationship. Then we build relationships in this realm, in the spiritual realm, and we wake up to what's going on around us. We persevere, we continue, we try again. And that's the blessing of the Spirit. It gives us the strength, it gives us the touchstone, it gives us a safety net to know when I'm faced with challenges, I can persevere. I can continue on this life, reincarnation, because life goes on. As we know, life doesn't end at the death of the body. Then I'm able to say, this shall pass as well. And here we are, dear friends. I hope this article by the Spirit, Divaldo Franco, encourages you to persevere in the good as always. And I hope to be back with you next week with another article from one of the issues of the Spiritist magazine. We have our playlists, You can find our playlist, the Spiritist magazine page, the Kardec radio page, and the Spirit Society of Richmond's page, where all of these articles that I've discussed throughout the past 2 years are available for you to study. You can visit spiritistmagazine.org to download your copy. There's a contact form to donate if that's possible. And if you have an idea, if you'd like to contribute with a talent, you can write a message to spiritistmagazine@gmail.com, and the editor-in-chief will be in touch with you as well. Thank you so very much for your presence, for your kindness, for your good words. And I hope that, God willing, I'll be back with you next week. Between now and then, may you stay well. May you stay safe. Take care of someone else and yourself. And God willing, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.